I watch a new film every other day, follow along for recommendations and reviews. Today, I watched the movie Everything We Built that is streaming on Watch Timini TV on YouTube. And, this non spoiler section is going to be very short because there's no reason not to watch this film. It is a short film, 1 hour, 30 minutes, especially in comparison to the ones that we don't see sometimes say now 2 hours, 2 hours, 35. This one, 1 hour, 30. I say, God bless you, Timini, for that, first of all. It's directed by Jide J. Blaze. You know that we love Jide J. Blaze in this film club. He did like recently, for example, a flicker of us, so the picture will always look good. It stars Martha Ehinome, who is gorgeous. That girl is so striking. Fine girl things, first of all. Her voice too, I just really, really like. And then just as an actress, she's so striking on screen. Like Martha, I want to see her in more things. I just really like her. So she's in the film. Timini is also here. He does well. Wole Ojo is in this. He does well. The film is good in a way that, like, is it the most original story? No. Is it the weekend? And if you want to watch something on YouTube for free, you can put on. And again, the cast, Jide behind the camera, there's no reason not to watch it. Is it a film that when you start it, you will probably kind of guess where it's headed? Yeah. Is it a film that kind of starts to repeat itself, especially in the beginning and kind of even towards the end? But we'll talk more about that one in the spoiler section. Yes. But again, as I've said, is it a film that when you're watching it, you will be like, oh, this is a waste of my time? No. And even if you did think that, the film is free on YouTube, so you can just click out. There's no reason not to watch the film. So I think you should definitely check it out, especially if you're looking for something a little bit different, because like we watch a lot of things too on YouTube for this film club, and we know that sometimes there's a certain types of story that we get on from YouTube. I'm not saying in general, I just mean sometimes you and I that watch the films, we know what you're talking about. A lot of romance, sometimes a lot of love, a lot of one way the story they go. At least here they try to give us something different for the YouTube space. It kind of, you can see that there's a lot of effort put into this. They put their energy, they put time into this thing. And as I've said, you will, yeah, I think there's no reason not to watch it. And I'm just very eager to start talking about this thing with spoilers, because I feel like that is where the cocoa of this conversation is. So now, if you have watched this film and you're ready to come and talk about it now with us who have watched, so that we can gist about it well with spoilers, then spoilers ahead in 3, 2, 1. Let us go. All right, now we're in the spoiler section. Please, if you've watched this film, which is why you're here, of course, and you're about to write a comment that has spoilers in it, just write spoiler alert before you write your comment so that we don't spoil it for people that have not yet watched it. All right, let's start gisting. The first thing I want to say is about BC. BC was a woman with a secret from like the first scene. Like every time, like I don't know, the way she would give looks, or the way I was like, BC, a woman with a secret. From the get go, I was kind of like, even again, I feel like this film, once you kind of see that they are brothers, the film is called Everything We Built. The tagline is about like betrayal. You already are kind of seeing their perfect life. You already kind of get a sense that this is going to be a betrayal story. What bigger betrayal than maybe the woman sleeping with the friend? Like we all kind of saw it coming. Like, but even at the end when he comes into the house, I didn't think that the Pekin no go be on Pekin. Like I didn't think that the daughter was not his. That one was like, oh wow, this is a deep betrayal. But outside of that, I think we all knew that probably they were having an affair. And BC's face, you could kind of tell. But then speaking of that, BC, I beg, that part where Tony tells her, I wrote it down. This whole life of crime, fraud, and all of that, I've been able to save enough, and I feel like it's time for us to go legit. And then she now goes, I don't know. I was like, what don't you know? What is there not to know, madam? You say, thank God. You say yes. Although this is the same woman that I wrote again during the proposal when he said, you didn't rush me, you didn't judge or shame me. I said, now that way me and you, BC, we are different. Because if I was a character of BC, I for judge and shame. I for judge and shame. Why my fiance be front star now? I for judge and shame. Say, my bad. That's why I guess he went with BC and not my character in this. If I was casting this. Speaking of the proposal, though, I did like that proposal, proposing to her in the classroom where they were young. Like, Tonya really loved this woman. And so the betrayal, I can see why it really, really stung deep. Also, on like Tonya's matter, please, when Toyo was doing that foreign accent on the phone with the people, that was cracking me up. Timini doing that foreign accent was so funny to me. But then on this topic of Tonye being a fraudster, when Subomi comes and like, the guy, Subomi's guy comes and picks him from the club to come and meet Subomi inside the room. And Subomi is now like, I think you can come and work for us, you can make us all this money. I was like, how did Subomi know that he was a fraudster? Like, I even went to watch the scene again after the film was finished. And I was like, I still don't understand like how Subomi knew. Like, it's not as it was like Tony is supposed to be like revered in the space. Was he like a popular name or face? But then that would mean like he's doing a bad job. And it didn't also seem like that. So I was like, how did Subumi particularly single him out and know this one is a fraudster that is smart. Like, I wish I knew more of how Subumi knew that. Did I miss that? Please, if I did, let me know. And then after this moment, right, when Subomina has now given them the job and Tonye is telling Uzo, right, from this moment on, like I think for like this is like the first 53 minutes of this film, that the film kind of starts repeating itself. I mean that because we are getting the sense that okay, Tonye is a family man with BC and his daughter, he wants to leave the game. Uzo is not, he's kind of just playing games by himself in his house, popping bottles, buying these things. They start to repeat this idea like again and again and again and again. So like you now start seeing like after we've already said this one, we now start seeing if like a montage of Uzo, like, just being at home in his house while Tonye is, with his kids and he's looking at the picture of his daughter in the safe and like reinforcing the same thing we've already seen. Then again, we now see them on the rooftop and then they're talking again and Tonye is now telling Uzo once again, I'm about to leave this game. Uzo is like, why are you going to leave me? I'm like, we are really repeating ourselves. I'm not going to hold you. The film starts to repeat that same thing over and over again. Finally, like 53 minutes into the film is now when something else, like, okay, he has finally now left, like, at that dinner with the people. And then he now gets the call that, like, oh, what is the code for the safe? Goes home and then we now see the betrayal. Okay, I'm like, okay, now we have moved on from this after the repetition. Tell me why not long after that, right? After he has now called the boys and sent them out to go and find Uzo. Not long after, we now start watching Tonye's grief through watching the film that we have watched again all over again. We now start seeing the scenes of them again that we've already watched. The flashback of them in their room, the flashback of when he was telling the same BC, oh, I want to leave this game, the flashback of the talk that they had on the roof. I was like, we are watching the film again. What is going on? And then finally, after we have now kind of like seen these flashbacks that we've already seen again, I've seen Tonye's grief through these flashbacks, we now get finally to see BC and Uzo. And we are seeing that Uzo is still the piece of crap that he knew he was going to be, even trying to like abandon their own daughter to run away with BC like piece of crap. No long after that, the daughter now has the device, the Tonye and his boys now like concocted the plan to intercept their vehicle. But tell me why, even when Tonye was not in that vehicle, they now start doing flashback again. I say, yeah. Flashback. Every time you go repeat this film, for a film that is only 1 at 30 minutes, like if you really take out all the flashbacks and all the repeat, this film is like 30 minutes. The story itself is like 45 minutes story. Like what? So then finally the car is now intercepted, and we now finally get to see the showdown between Tonye and Uzo. And Tonye now like really, says his heart, speaks about the betrayal and how he sees it. Tell me why Uzo is now here saying, I wrote it down, where he's like, what were you going to leave me? You were going to, you betrayed me as well. What was going to be left of me? Another scam, another bottle, another SUV. Now me when say make you no go think of your own life. I dey plan my own life. I dey say I no want just come again. I won't go with my wife and my child. Now you will say you won't go the pop bottle and buy SUV. I'll stop you. See me see trouble. So people they have but really is that they don't have the smartness or they are not thinking they are seeing somebody else planning their life ahead. Instead of them to take initiative and go and plan their own, they are now jealous of the person that's planning their life because what are you saying to me, Uzo? And when he was now like, oh, I was drowning, I said drowning in this elaborate plan that you have had for years. People can't drown him with that one. And then, of course, after Uzo was again throws BC under the bus and says, look at her, what is even there to like? And BC looks at him like that. Uzo was a piece of crap. But after all that, Tonye now really expresses the brunt of his anger around the betrayal. And then this is where I have to ask you guys, do you think that Tonye's final decision when he calls them and he's like, do it, and then they shoot, this is implied that, he has killed Uzo and BC? Do you think that that was justified, or do you think that Tonye took it too far? Because in my mind, I was like, "Oh wow, Tonye, that is kind of cool," but I didn't think he was actually going to like ask for their execution. But when he does, I'm like, "Whoa, wow." Do you think it was justified, or do you think it was an extreme reaction to it? Overall, as I said, there was no reason not to watch this film. I commend Timini for doing something different on the YouTube page. Outside of the repetition, and again, the film is not like exactly creating something we've never seen before. But what they did here was good, and I thought it was nice, and it was a nice watch for a weekend. If you have watched this film, I'm very curious to know what you think about it. So please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Also, if you have watched this whole video and you have no idea who I am, my name is VDK. I'm the curator of the VDK Film Club, where every other day we watch something new and we just about it like we've done today. Follow along. All right. Until the next film that I watch and the next video that I make, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.